Hi, everyone. My name is Ezza Valdez. I am an herbalist and a cannabis educator for the Alchemist Kitchen. So for those that are not familiar with the Alchemist Kitchen, we are a botanical dispensary in downtown Soho in New York City. We have two spaces. The first one is a retail space where you get to purchase herbal products made by our partners that are herbalists, farmers, alchemists, and wild foragers. The next space that we have is our elixir bar. So this is where I'd like to separate the two spaces. One is the retail space, and the elixir bar is where magic happens. That's where we host our speakeasy, our events, our classes, our workshops. And so if you want to learn more about our spaces, sign up for our newsletter, as well as follow us on our YouTube channel. So this recording will actually be posted there as well. So tonight we're going to be talking about Kava Kava and Kanna. So to kick off, I'm going to share my screen. So like I said, we're the Alchemist Kitchen, and I always like to share where we're located at. So we're at 117 Crosby Street. Okay. So we zoom out. So that's New York City. Now, so why do we want to learn about Kava Kava and Kanna? So these two plants are in two separate, diverse regions of the world. Kava Kava is from South Pacific and Kanna is from South Africa. Both are ancient plants, but have controversy surrounding their use. And so the human need for pursuit of intoxication, that's actually part of being human. So Ronald Siegel, in his book Intoxication, says that there is a natural force that motivates us to pursue intoxication. That biological force has found expression throughout history. It has led to discovery of many intoxicants, sugar being one of them, natural and artificial, and to the demonstrations of that irrepressible drive. So we'll start out with why did I title this class as Herbal Harmony? Well, harmony is the idea of inner peace and calmness and balance. And these two herbs, Kava Kava and Kanna, has that promise of providing that inner peace and calmness and balance. So Kava Kava is originally from the South Pacific. Actually, studies have shown that it actually came from Vanuatu. And then it spread out to neighboring islands in Fiji, in Tonga, and also in Pohnpei. This is in Micronesia. Before it actually spread out to further islands like Samoa, Papua New Guinea, and Hawaii. And so to put that in perspective, so this is Micronesia, and if we zoom out, this tiny speck here is Vanuatu. So if we zoom in there, so you could see, like it's really such a tiny, tiny island. From Vanuatu, Kava Kava was domesticated about 3,000 years ago like I said, from there, it spread out to other islands in Fiji, New Caledonia, which is actually a French territory, before going to Micronesia. And then from there, we zoom out again, it went to Hawaii, and then finally to the United States. Okay. So before the colonizers, before 1616, I said, the plant itself was domesticated by the indigenous population in Vanuatu. So that's the northern part. And so with the limited number of plants, they were able to identify the healing properties of the plant and was able to share it with the other islands. Now, they were drinking it fresh, meaning that they would take the plant and take it out and then grind the roots in order to get the medicine. At the time, women were not allowed to participate. And because of the domestication, it wasn't a fertile, meaning that even when it flowered, it did not grow and propagate. So that was due to human selection. And the way that it was propagated was via cuttings. So each kava plant, each family actually has its own way of selecting the kava plant or the kava variety that it wanted. And so each farmer would chop the stem and into 3 or 4 inches long and then plant that. And so that's how they propagated it. It's considered happiest in humid jungle environments, and it could grow to 8 feet tall under the canopy, under partial shade and well-draining soil. Now, there are more than 100 cultivars, a variety of kava, but the two that are notable are the noble, which has the high concentrations and kava lactose, and today kava. Now, today kava, it's called today kava because it causes nausea and lethargy for 2 days. But it still may have some medicinal properties. It is quicker growth and it has a higher yield. And because of that, when pharmaceutical companies came and tried to use the medicine, they prefer the 2-day kava just because it grew faster and has a higher yield. And so that actually caused the controversy with kava because the 2-day kava active ingredients actually caused issues with folks that had kidney disease. So this is how the kava plant looked like. The kava leaves can still be used from a medicinal standpoint. It can be chewed and made into a poultice for insect stings, as well as insect stings, as well as a ringworms, dermatitis, and so forth. So anything doing with the skin. And then the root is actually grounded, and this is what is used for ceremonial events. So separating the stem and the leaves, we have to be careful and provide a warning not to partake of these because it does have chemicals in it that can cause issues with the liver. So people with liver issues like cirrhosis and hepatitis should not be taking the leaves and the aerial stems of the plant. So I'm going to be sending out this presentation. And so one of the questions always with Kava Kava is, does it cause liver and kidney issues? Dr. Vincent LeBeau actually studied Kava, and he studied it back, he started it back in 1980. So I'm going to present a video where he talks a little bit more about this issue.
I even have a picture in my phone that there's still a sign that gives a big health disclaimer underneath the tinctures, and that's not included in any other herbal product. But if I go to the Green Life Market in Asheville, North Carolina, there is a sign warning people about kava in front of. Or are you aware of the fact that?
No, I'm not aware of that. But how can we change this? How we can change it, I don't know. What I know is that when you review the scientific literature which has been produced for the last 11 years, this has never been demonstrated scientifically. So basically, it's just the result of a big noise that has been going around, snowballing on the internet, but it's not scientifically demonstrated. It's not scientifically true. Why I'm saying that? Because in Germany, they told us that kava was hepatotoxic. But when Matthias Schmitz and others started to narrow down the so-called cases and find out what really happened, first of all, we found that only one type of extract was involved, WS1490 from Schwabe. That was the acetonic extract, only this one. And second, some of the so-called cases were not cases. They were people with an history of alcohol abuse, with a very fragile liver, or some on co-medications and blah, blah, blah. But scientifically, they were not cases. So why they made such a big noise for a story that was not really serious, we don't know. Was that because of the lobby of the benzodiazepine producers? We don't know. We just don't know. Was it because it was really something? Maybe. Maybe that the Europeans bought peelings. We have some indication that they bought peelings CBCD from Fiji and from here and extracted pipermethystines or flavocavins, and they concentrated these potentially toxic molecules. Maybe. So if this is what happened, it was that the responsibility was on their side because they had no quality control. But this is where the problem comes from. They were producing something that was not kava, and they were calling it kava. If you extract caffeine from coffee beans and put it in a pill, you cannot call that pill coffee, can you? If you extract anthocyanins.
So with that, what I'd like to emphasize, what I'd like to emphasize is that the controversy regarding Kava Kava causing liver and kidney issues really need to be looked at further through studies and more experimentation.
Yeah, however, let me just say something. Is that all you need to, our posture is, this is a claim, okay, that's going to require more research.
Yes.
From our perspective.
Yes.
If you're a user, if you're.
Do you want to come around here so you're in camera?
To speak?
Yeah. So this is Luke Sagar, our CEO.
Hi there.
So the camera's right here.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. So you're not on the, okay. Hi, guys. Yeah, please, I wanted to listen in on the conversation. Was there?
I'm just presenting what the.
Oh, does Kava Kava cause liver and kidney issues? Yeah. I think that from, I'm the CEO, the founder of the Alchemist Kitchen. I've been working with plant medicine at a very deep level for the last 5, 6, 8 years. So here's the thing on kava. Kava is an ancestral root and has been used for thousands of years by the tribal, I think very effectively for conflict resolution. When it comes to the consequences of kava kava for liver and kidney, unquestionably, there have been certain studies. Those studies are not FDA studies. Those studies have indicated that there's a risk for people who are people that are struggling or have liver and kidney issues to begin with. So if you're compromised in any way, if a user's compromised in any way with liver or kidney issues, you would not be a good candidate to start getting into kava kava. You know, you could try it, you could sample it, but as a medicine to incorporate into one's wellness, I would probably stay on the cautious side, you know. Now, on the other hand, for those who are looking for an opportunity to use a root, a plant that has psychoactive benefits and is legal in a landscape right now where psychedelics, psilocybin, LSD, they're not legal as of yet. There's decriminalization going on. Kava Kava, Kanna. It's a whole variety of these roots that properly formulated with very good supervision and stewardship over dose, you're really bringing the risks down. So I think we should accept, I think we should accept that, yeah, there may be some risks, and if in certain health food stores they're posting disclaimers or warnings, they're doing that out of the best interest of making sure people who may be most at risk are not putting themselves at a risk unknown that there have been some of these studies.
So that actually goes to the warning that we shared earlier, that it really depends on the quality of the product that you're getting. So now that we understand that there's a warning to it and what the counterbalance to that is, what does it actually do? So if we go and think of plant medicine, the way that it works is that when you take something in, it activates certain parts of the body. So, and we call those receptors. So the receptors receive the molecule from either the beverage or the food that we intake and produces an action. In this case, Kava Kava can induce drowsiness. That's why the action is soporific. It can affect the mood and the behavior. That's why it can be considered a narcotic. But it also has additional benefits of being an analgesic, meaning it provides pain relief. It has also been used to as a disinfectant, especially for gonorrhea. It helps with digestion. It is a diuretic, so it's going to make you pee. It is antiseptic and antipyretic, meaning that it will lower the fever. And kava in itself is called a simple formula, but if you provide it, these are all the molecules that are in kava. So the biggest one is cavalactones. So it binds with the GABA receptors to relax the muscles. And the other molecules can either reduce the inflammation or lower the pain or lower or protect you. And so the other molecules that are in the plant, like the alkaloids, help protect the plants from predators and but may cause cytotoxicity in the body. So again, depending on what part of the plant you're getting the medicine from. So in terms of formulations, so there's the simple formula extract, which is Kava Kava in itself. But if you mix it with other herbs, you could use it for painful sore throat, mixing it with sage and spilanthes and golden seal. Other benefits are if you have muscle spasms, you could use it with skullcap and ashwagandha and kudzu. Back pain and spasmodic headaches, you could use it with passion flower or white peony and skullcap and cordialis. Each formulation definitely will have its own percentage, and so it's good to work with an herbalist so that the herbalist will create a formulation tailored to whatever the need is. So I also found a formulation for grinding of teeth at night. So a little bit of skullcap with blue vervain. All of these are more relaxant. Passion flower is also considered a relaxant as well, a muscle relaxant. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing at this time because I'm going to demonstrate how to extract Kava Kava. So what I have here is when I was in New Mexico, Santa Fe, New Mexico, I actually bought 1 kilogram, that's 3 pounds of Kava Kava powder. And I have it here. And what you would need is a bowl and a cheesecloth. So you put about 3 tablespoons of Kava Kava powder, about 3 cups of water, and then you put the powder here, pour the water in, and then you massage it. So it is a cold extract. You don't boil it. That's the traditional way of making an extract of Kava Kava. And you massage it for about 7 minutes. I've seen instructions where they said 15, but I think 7 minutes should be sufficient enough to get the molecules out of the plant material. One way of using it is making a mocktail out of it. So one formulation, one recipe that I've been playing around with is mixing lemongrass simple syrup, so let's say a tablespoon of lemongrass. So just a tablespoon for the sweetness of it. And this is grapefruit and a tablespoon of grapefruit. And this is where I put in my Kava Kava. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of Kava Kava. Okay. Oh, and I forgot the ice. So just 1 ice. and shaking it. So what does Kava Kava taste like? Kava Kava is very bitter. So that's why I am mixing it with a little bit of simple syrup to cut the bitterness, but complementing it with the grapefruit. So there you go. Cheers. So if you want to learn how to make your own mocktail, how to create your own recipe, I teach a class on botanical mixology on February 15th, and that's an in-person class. Okay. So from there, I'm going to share my screen again. And we'll go over how to extract. So 3 tablespoons of powder in a muslin bag, 3 cups of room temperature water, and then massage the powder in the water to extract it for 7 minutes. So this mocktail that I made is a variation of it with lemongrass simple syrup, grapefruit, and kava kava. Other variations is you could use coconut milk and raw cacao, or grape juice, or to make it festive, you could boil cinnamon, licorice, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and allspice, and combine that liquid with kava kava. And then you could also use pineapples as a chaser, or I've seen a recipe where you could combine it with cola. Okay. Yeah. So the next options are how, if you don't want to do the extract, different ways of taking it in is the kava chocolate that we have at the Alchemist Kitchen, as well as the plant alchemy kava chill mood. So let me show how that is. So stop share. So we have the kava chill mood. So this is an alcohol extract, but combined with glycerine. So that's what makes it potent and easy to use, as well as the Paulu chocolate, 88% cacao. Now, I was able to talk to Josh Young, the maker of the chocolate, and he was telling me that he does it all, from farming to grinding the chocolate to combining everything. So when you do purchase the chocolate, that's a great way of supporting farmer in Hawaii.
Actually, actually, the great thing about the
Next. Next, your turn. You want to have this?
oh, actually, the great thing with the chocolate is the root, the kava root is grown right on his property, yeah, right on the farm, and he happens to be a chocolatier. So what you get is the benefit of someone who's farming, growing the ingredients, and then converting it into a chocolate, which is a very nice way to consume it. I would say it's the best form of ingestion. In terms of chocolate, there's nothing better than this particular.
Did you know how he
chocolate.
learned how to be a chocolatier?
Oh,
He went on the internet, Googled it up.
he Googled it up, huh?
He just Googled it up.
Yeah.
That's how he learned.
That's awesome. Okay, anyway, so where are we now? Just gonna
So we're
talk
going,
about Kanna?
yeah, we're gonna talk about Kanna. So let me just share the screen again.
Okay.
Okay. So here you go. So Kanna. Kanna is a succulent plant out in South Africa, in the Great Karoo region. So this is the southern part of Africa. And the succulents were used by the San and Khoi tribes. So when they go out and hunt, they use the succulent in order for them to not feel hunger or thirst or lack the energy when they go hunting. It also helps them relax so that obviously when they're out hunting, they're not as affected with stress. Do you want to talk about the properties of
Yeah,
Kanna?
so the Kanna is considered an empathogen. So, which is fairly consistent with psychoactive plants and mushrooms. So it's increasing empathy, so you feel more compassionate. You really find your voice to speak, expressing yourself. There are these highs that are very euphorian feelings of, high elevation of mood, there, when the mood is elevated, one is not as triggered with situational issues that would stimulate upset, make you upset, make you angry. And because it's an empathogen, you're elevated just enough, just slightly enough, that you're able to stay in your lane, which is deal with the obligations, be more creative, be more productive. So as an ally for personal growth, it's really good. So the releasing of stress and tension held on the physical, mental, emotional levels. It's considered a nootropic. The word nootropic today is quite fashionable, but a good nootropic, protecting the brain and nervous system, giving protection while enhancing cognition, really boosts the neurotransmitters and other cognitive, cognitive health generally. Yes, we work with this group.
So we want to stop sharing so you could show it.
Yeah, we work with this group. They make very nice, very, very good sourcing. And this is for focus. There's one for play.
That's for energy.
For energy, gives you activation. And so these are blends where the Kanna is the anchor ingredient, but then there are other blends. Dream. We really like this, the dream. I think people who struggle sometimes with sleep, either staying asleep, falling asleep, sometimes when you put your intention to just being in a dream state, which Kanna is very, very good for, you sleep better. You're not as stressed about trying to get to sleep, falling asleep. And one of the things about Kanna that's very important is the onset is not immediate. You actually, I think, have to make like a 1 month commitment and really use it. It's very cumulative. Its benefits are more nuanced than, let's say, like psilocybin psychedelics, like the onset is faster, But for health and wellness, Kanna is really good because it is cumulative. So once you get it incorporated, can be really effective.
And the company Hearthstone Collective, they give 3% to the tribe that they work with. So not only do they provide work and commerce for the tribe, but they also supplement it with 3% of the revenue. So the other thing about Kanna, the active constituents or the active molecules, mesembrin, mesembrenone, mesembranol, these molecules reduce the anxiety, stress, and improves the mood. And it acts as a tranquilizer as well. So So the extraction process, going back. The traditional extraction process is that you have to ferment it for a week, and then you could use it either as a tea or you could chew on it. We actually have, I ordered this online. We actually have the plant material because I wanted to see what it looked like and taste it as well. So this one actually tasted, even though it's a plant, it tasted like calamari for some reason.
I think the thing that people tonight is really important to know is that some people, they go traveling, they're looking for their next career. They go to South Africa, for example, and they taste Kanna in its or original, home. And they love it. And then they meet some people and they import, somebody got some Kanna, they import it. They make it into a capsule, they make a product, they put it on Etsy, it's legal, and now they're selling Kanna. The branding is usually pretty authentic, natural, but not terribly appealing, but you're getting the Kanna. The problem is that there are only, when it goes on the supply chain of where are you getting the Kanna from, if you're not directly buying from the farm, from where it's grown, or you don't have what we would call stewardship, meaning whoever we would be buying the Kanna from, we know they're buying it from the farm. You can't buy that product. It's the shelf life is not going to be reliable. The sourcing and what they're mixing it with is not going to be reliable. So when it comes to Kava, Kanna, one thing's really important is since it's not highly recreational, it's not like people are buying Kanna like they would be buying cannabis or psychedelics. You have to be more mindful of the source and how is the source really getting. A good thing about product that, our stewardship is, we only select products for the most part that have been vetted at least by an herbalist, or in the case of mushrooms, by a mycologist. We're not just sending people out to be buyers. I have to go through a certain process, and that's the medicinal space that we've been trying to hold. And what we're trying to start to do now is say, hey, let's talk about Kava, let's talk about Kanna, let's talk about these Syrian rue and Cromwell roots, and that they're very interesting for COVID. They all have great properties. So I just want to emphasize that.
So we'd like to open it up for questions. You could unmute yourself, and if you have any questions, you could either type it out on the chat or ask us your questions. So one thing regarding Hearthstone Collective, the maker of the Kanna products, is that it is nutraceutical, meaning that it's just one step below pharmaceutical grade. Pharmaceutical means that it has gone through clinical studies as well as high quality. The nutraceutical category is that it is grown semi-outdoor, so it's still in a controlled environment. And Hearthstone Collective actually test their plants almost every day to ensure that the proper level of alkaloids are within the plant. So we have one question. What is the purpose difference of extraction methods for both?
Oh, that's a good question. Hi, Clarissa. Well, capsules are the primary form of ingestion, particularly for Kanna. But capsules are structural, right? They're very reliable. The dosage is very measured. It's very easy to take it. You can, when you're taking something where you're trying to do it 4 days on, 2 days off, you know, like with many of the Kava products, your protocol is pretty much you got to take it every day. So it fits pretty well into most people's regimen. You know, they take whatever they're taking, supplements, becomes, they see it as a supplement. The difference with tinctures, when you take a Kava tincture, or you know, or Kanna or Kava, it's the onset is much faster. It's getting into the bloodstream. The onset's much faster, and so the expectation is you're going to have a more perceptual experience. Whereas when you take capsules, you're expecting the experience to be cumulative, more subperceptual. When you take drops, let's take, for example, Kava. Kava, if you are going into a negotiation, you're trying to make a sale, you're trying to arbitrate a disagreement between your partner, your family, friends. The biggest obstruction to a good outcome is the insecurity and the fear of how am I gonna say what I need to say, and I feel so strongly, you know, about it. The great thing with Kava is it mitigates and reduces the emotional attachment to the issue at hand. Somebody's right, somebody's wrong. There's always, so for conflict resolution, going back thousands of years, the tribal leaders who are also familial with each other, they couldn't afford to fight to the extent of violence, right? Then sets up a whole violent reaction. So Kava, as a source of conflict resolution, eased them, relaxed them, so that they could speak and communicate and be heard with each other. So not to belabor it, but we actually put on our Plant Alchemy Kava conflict resolution, because sometimes these things are really good for a specific, very, very focused intention. But generally, tincture, just faster onset. Capsules very reliable, easier, you know, tincture, you're taking it under the tongue, you're holding it 30 seconds or so to get it into the bloodstream. But when you want a shot, when you want to hit, you want to change your mood, you're going out, it's great. The beverage, Kava beverage, Kanna is not, and we haven't seen Kanna in a beverage, but Kava has entered into most European markets, American, North American markets through a Kava bar, because it has the ability to be used into a beverage, you know, a mocktail, cocktail.
And it's an alcohol replacement.
And it doesn't need it's giving you the psychoactivity, but no alcohol. So at a time that many people are trying to drink less, they don't necessarily want to be sober. They want some activation. So
But they want to be relaxed.
but they want to be relaxed, absolutely. So where Kava is very, very interesting, the first generation of Kava bars were like the first generation of coffee bars for Kava. But the next generation is when you get mixology, people such as Ezza and other people who are very interested in mycology and herbalism, but with botanical mixology, because beverage is such a big, important way that people have an initiation to some of these products. It's really cool, really cool. So if you're culinary minded, learning about Kava, getting it, incorporating, it's really good. So thank you, Clarissa.
And that's one of the reasons why I started taking Kava Kava, because I was having lower back pain and I needed to take something that's not necessarily a pill. I didn't want to have to take Tylenol forever. And so Kava Kava offered that replacement where, and honestly, I can walk a lot better just because of the relaxation I've been getting from the plant. So there you go.
Are there any other questions that we can grab?
I do, yes. So I make this much, but I actually distribute it to 2-ounce bottles. So I kind of know 2 ounce, yeah. So my 2-ounce bottle's right here, so I know how much dosage I'm taking in. And I'm mindful because once I feel the relaxation and then I stop. And then, once I feel that I need it, my muscles start to get tight again, then I start taking it again. And so that's the beauty of plant medicine. You could stop at any time. It's not addictive, and then pick it up again when you need it.
I don't think there's more questions, but we can say that we're planning to launch what we're noticing is people want to connect, they want to get together and feel connected. They don't necessarily want to drink alcohol, go to a bar. So one of the things we're going to be launching in early March is a Kava gathering where people can come, and Kava is the psychoactive, the driver, and taste it in delicious different types of mocktails and drinks, and enjoy a experience that gives you the activation you're looking for after work and stress, with no alcohol, and completely in a legal state. So much, I think you guys will agree, so much of what needs to happen now is for us to have good source, good medicinal stewardship, attention to compliance, just fully compliant, respectful of FDA, respectful of all the regulatory side, but get it into the next level, which is culinary, more sophisticated, more fun, more creative. And Kanna also has that place. It's just terribly misunderstood, and most of it is because the middlemen who have been the primary importers or bringing the product, at least to the United States, they haven't been respectful of the indigenous traditions. They're not connecting. It's only been in the last couple of years, the guys that do Hearthstone, they're deeply committed to properly representing the farms in which grow the Kanna. And there's a spiritual connection to that. And our mission, our job at the Alchemist Kitchen is make sure you guys are getting something that we're doing our best to keep authentic and comfortable. You should come visit us. It's not so much to anything, but to really offer our desire to be relationship driven and be a good trust agent, and we need you to help us with that, and for that, I'm going to leave the rest of the closing with Ezza, and you guys have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thank you.